All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am James Oliver Jr., managing partner of Kabila Ventures, a new VC firm coming soon, CEO of Kabila, which connects overlooked founders to capital, customers, and co-founders, founder of the Kabila Founder Mental Health Fund, which provides free mental therapy for founders who want it but can't afford it, husband to an amazing wife, and co-founder of the world's cutest twins. Tell us where you're coming in from in the comments. We're streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Please share this on your social media channel and invite your friends to join. It's going to be a really great conversation. Got a phenomenal guest today. Also, as we get into this, please drop your questions in the comments and we will do our best to get to all of them. So what am I excited about right now? Same thing I was excited about last week, except a little bit more. Let's see. I'm writing a book to normalize conversations around founder mental health, partnering with this really great founder, Django Degree. He is a startup called Focus on Words. And it's uses AI agents to write books based on interviews. Really cool. It's going to be amazing. All the proceeds will benefit the Kabila Founder Mental Health Fund. I got a little, I'm going to tease this something here. So I'm not going to like show you the book cover, but I'm just going to flash it up on the screen, give you a little tease. Look at that. Oh, look at I did it. Oh, yeah, just a little tease, bro. I'm also excited because, just like any startup, when I started this nonprofit, we just ham and egg in it. Like, who was that? Paul Graham says you got to do things that don't scale. Got this thing set up in a way that's completely janky, just to see if anybody cares, but it's super tedious, getting on my nerves, all the tedium. But we're actually moving to a really solid platform with better help. It's going to allow me to scale up, free up my time. It's going to save us a lot of money. We're going to be able to onboard like 25 founders at a time minimum versus the one founder every week. So I'm super excited about that. And so if you're listening and if you're a founder and you would like to get, if you're a US-based founder and you want to get some mental therapy, I got a sticker here. Hang on. I got a ticker here. I want to flash. So yeah, go ahead and join this wait list, right? Go to go.joinkabila.com/mental health. And I'll let you know once we get onboarded to the new BetterHelp platform, which will be in a couple weeks. I'll send out a mass email. Just, hey, do you still want to do this? Yeah. Okay. Boom. We'll just upload you there. We pay for 4 free mental therapy sessions. It's going to probably be over like a 2-month period once we get this new platform going. We also will let people pay for if they have their own therapist, reimburse them up to $300. But in this case, this is just for BetterHelp. So now that I got that out of the way. All right, so what are we doing here? So if you're out there listening and you're an early stage founder, you know how challenging fundraising is. It's hard. I always say that investors invest in lines, not dots. And so I endeavor to help you connect the dots with great people who also happen to be investors. And I do that to give you a chance to maybe turn those dots into a line and maybe get funded. And today's no exception. I have a really, really awesome human and investor I recently met and connected with on a few levels. And I want you to meet him. So today we have Mike Ma, managing partner of Sidecut Ventures. Mike's a husband, a dad, a snowboarding instructor, a solo VC, and the host of a thoughtful podcast, Alone Together, where he interviews other solo general partners, aka people running venture funds by themselves. So I got these new things in here, Mike. I'm gonna pull you up in a second, but I got these new toys. And where's this thing here? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. What's up, Mike? How are you, man?
What a great intro, man. You do it right.
You like that?
I love that. I love that, man. I feel like I feel like I want to get on the couch and just like, waiting for. I can't even talk about talk show hosts these days, right?
Oh, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not.
I love that. Thanks for the applause track.
Yeah, of course, bro. So I use StreamYard. They got this. StreamYard has been killing like the updates, man. I'm like, okay, I see y'all see us. I like this. So now they got audio tracks. I'm like, that's what's I like to press buttons and shit. You would never get this one. You would never get that one.
She's out of town. Every now and then she'd have that button. I could see a couple things coming out for that.
So. So your podcast is great because it resonates with me. You're talking to solo GPs, and it is lonely trying to raise money for a fund as a solo GP. Like, I was raising for my fund, and I had to kind of slightly put a pin. I'm taking a different tack because it was just like destroying my mental health, man. So it's hard. So I really appreciate that you do that.
No, I love it. I mean, I started the podcast kind of like, as you know, solo GPs get a lot of shade, right? Like, oh, we don't invest in solo GPs, don't invest in solo GPs.
And, you mean from an LP standpoint?
Yeah. And
yeah,
I don't know. I just think people misunderstand it. And And so that was why I wanted to kind of just tell that story. And also it was a great excuse to learn from other people and connect with them as people versus just, I don't know, trade this deal, trade you that deal. You know, it's really cool. I mean, it does take someone, and I don't know, we're a rare breed, man. It's crazy to do this just in general, and then to do it alone.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be crazy to be a founder. You got to be a little crazy to be a solo GP. No doubt. So, but what you said there is really kind of dovetails on a point I want to make, at least in part. And that's, you know, in addition to talking about Sidecut Ventures, I want people to get to know you as a human, so that when they approach you, they do so as non-transactionally as possible. Because I have a theory as an up-and-coming VC myself that doing so will lead to better long-term engagement. I mean, what do you think about that theory?
No, I agree. I mean, you know, for me, this fund is everything I turned 50 next month, everything I've done in 5 decades, right? So I am a teacher. I love seeing human potential work itself through. I am a slugger. I have spent my life mostly as an operator, right? Just carrying a bag, you know, whether it was marketing or revenue, like I always had a number on my head. And I am a citizen of this little mud ball called Earth, and I just want to be connected to other people and do things that matter for after long I'm dead and gone, right? And so this fund is that, right? Like this, I mean, and so I mean, this is it's funny, right? The fund is me and I am the fund, right? So that's why I teach, right? I'm a snowboard instructor. I specifically work in the adaptive world where I work with instructors and athletes with people with disabilities because I love watching the human potential and I love that. And, you know, I love the puzzle of trying to figure out sales. Like I love it. Like, I love early stage. I don't know why. You know, it is.
You're a glutton for punishment. That's why. You said you're a slugger. Did you mean slogger?
Like, you know, if you think about the stage I invest in, just talk more about, you know, I invest post traction sub 10 million cap in terms of it. But like, if I equate it to a person, it's kind of like, it's like we just talked about this middle school. It's like that. It's like they're not like Series A, the people they're going to be. And it's also like I've been an accelerator MD, and I've done like kind of like your kindergarten 1s, 2s, 3s timetables. Like I love the middle school.
Did you just compare an accelerator to a kindergarten?
I think so, right? Idea stage. I mean, just linearly, like they're.
Oh man.
I mean, it's no shade to that. Like it's just
I know.
Starting the process of learning about the world, like, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's me as a person. I grew up in, I'm a Midwest kid. I moved to the coast. I care about people. I've been very fortunate to do some cool things in tech, and I've just really loved the idea of trying to put all this together into this final chapter of whatever I'm doing in my life, because it is what I do personally and professionally.
So let's talk about that real quick. So like, what's your thesis? What size text do you typically write? Let's get that out the way.
Sure. Yeah. So we're impact pre-seed fund. Our thesis is coachable superheroes. So we are writing $250,000 checks right now. I would like to write more if my checks were bigger. $250,000 checks for companies sub 10 million cap. The areas we invest in, coachable superheroes refers to 2 things. Superheroes refers to the sectors. So the 4 areas of superheroes we invest in currently are climate, education, healthcare, and economic mobility, which kind of is a nice flow for future work and fintech, possibly prop tech as well, since the rent is too damn high.
The rent is too damn high, no doubt.
The other, the coachable part is what we do a little different. Most VC, what we do with all of our founders, and I've done it since an angel, is we work with all our founders in the mud, fingers on keyboard, belly to belly in the trenches for 30 days before we invest. We don't want any common cash warrants, nothing. We just want your time. and the opportunity to operate with you, to watch you do battle, and hopefully do some battle with you in a good way, for good.
Yeah.
You like us, we like you. At the end of 30 days, we'll write you a check. And our thesis is this. And it's in my deck, like 92% of VCs say they do value add, 61% of founders says it's not very good. So my view is like, hey, you get all my value add up front. Don't like my advice? Cool.
Don't take my check. So let's put a pin right there, because so I have really bad ADHD. So I try to listen, and when I listen, I forget what I want to say. So let's put a pin right there, because you said a lot of interesting things. And I've already forgot what I want to say. See there? But that's the one thing about you that I really like, is that you actually work side by side with founders. I think that's a huge differentiator for you. And I think from a founder standpoint, they really get a chance to know if they like you and if they think you'd be helpful. I mean, I suppose that there's some founders that are like, I don't give a crap, I just want to take the money. But like, all money ain't good money. But I'd rather work with somebody who's going to be helpful and decide to partner with them that way. And then, so the other point about VCs not actually being helpful. So, in my Kabila Ventures pitch deck, there's that one slide, founder value add. I'm just like looking at this slide, just felt like a throwaway slide, in some ways, because how much value you're really going to add, and you're like actually doing it and killing it. But for me, one of the bullet points on that slide was, I'm going to provide access to mental wellness resources for my founders. And we were talking about this before we started, about the importance of resilience, and we can come back to this later, because I have another question for you. But yeah, it's good to be resilient, but doing that all day long is really exhausting. So how can we provide some wellness resources to give them some gas for their tank, so they can go be resilient and not be destroying their mental health? So that's why I started Kabila Founder Mental Health Fund. So I'm actually doing that, and I think that's going to be helpful for founders in a lot of ways. So my next question is, like, what inspired you to start Sidecut Ventures?
It's just something I saw in lights all the time. Like, I was just like, God, I mean, I started this. So I started working for another fund, an accelerator fund, and deploying capital. And I just felt like, for me, when I was listening to a lot of, GPs give operating advice at the early stage, it wasn't wrong. It just wasn't a fit for what that 0 to 1, 0.25 to 1 journey was. So I just thought to myself, okay, well, if you really believe all this stuff, then why don't you put it on yourself? So I started writing angel checks. I was like, I tested and learned into it. It's like, tell you what, I'll write you a $5,000 check, founder. Mm-hmm. You got to work with me for 30 days. And I thought I had to add value, because ain't nobody going to deal with me for like, I'm a pain in the neck, right? For 5K, like, you're not.
You said you're a pain in the neck.
I am. Yeah. And
is that what your wife says about you?
Yeah, and my founders do too. Like, I'm diligencing right now, and we're, it's if you started a company, it's not fun. 4 starts, 2 exits, still working, 2 okay exits, 2 flaming dumpster. I know how hard it is. And so I started doing that, did that for a couple dozen times. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this worked. People like this. And a couple broke out, we raised some SPVs. And that was like, yeah, I think that was my test and learn. I was like, okay, I'm ready to start a fund.
Okay.
And that was it. Like, it was a test and learn. I do the same things I tell my founders to do myself.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is interesting. So one of the things I tell founders who listen to me on these things is, I encourage them to try to find founders, angels who are or were founders, founder angels, because they move with 3 things. They move with speed, empathy, and conviction. And I also tell them, like, a cheat code is like, hey, like, if you're working on your deck, say, hey, like, I'm working on my deck. Would you be game to help me, like, form this deck? And it's really, it's a hack. It's a relationship building hack. And it's just not to the same extent that you're doing, but it worked for me. Yeah. Right? It's like, so it accelerates trust, right? Trust building. And it also lets the investor know if you are coachable, like you said. How well do you take feedback? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Right? Like, and can you execute?
Yeah. Or I say, like, don't tell me, show me. Right. And I think, especially when you start a company, words are cheap. And that's that's my view. You know, especially with everyone teaching people how to pitch, and you know, I could get, I'm fooled on a lot of these pitches. You can fake your way through 2 meetings. You know, it's hard to fake your way through 30 days of operating.
Yeah, was that Elizabeth, that Thera,
It can happen, but it's hard for sure.
What's that Thera lady? Elizabeth Holmes, is her name? Yeah,
Yeah,
fake your way through pitching. Yeah. So Jeffrey says test and learn and repeat. That's what's up. And CW Charles, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. So no, I appreciate that. So let's change gears just a little bit. No. So go back to the coachable piece. So I understand what coachable means, but why do you only invest in coachable superheroes?
Well, superhero, I mean, like,
superhero is the space that they're in, right?
I mean, like, look, for me, it's like, look, I'm turning 50. I've made enough money in the world for people who may or may not need it. I want to make money for people who are doing good. That's the superhero. But the coachable part is this. It's like, I'll give a couple. I'll get real with you. So okay. One, like the left brain answer for an investor is like, when I see they're coachable, like, you know, I see a deck from a founder. The only thing I know is like, this is not, I tell every founder, that's not what's going to happen. That's the only thing I know about your business.
Yeah.
Right. So what are you going to do when you get punched in the face? So that like,
everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. That's what Mike Tyson said, right?
Right. So that gives you an idea of coachability, survivorship. It helps your portfolio. Also, as an investor, I get asymmetric information around it. But I'll be honest with you. Why do I do it this way? I love it. Like, I get to be a partner, I think, in like the cool, like the most amazing human like growth part. I just love it. I'm addicted. I am a junkie for it. I don't want to be in the cheap seats. I don't want to just get
you want to be in the arena.
I want to be, or pretty darn close, you know?
Yeah.
And one LP asked me, why do you do it this way? You're solo GP doing early stage in the hardest way possible. And I was like, I like it.
That was because I want to and I like it. Like what? And look, man, life's short, right? You should do what you like and do what you want.
And this is why your message. I mean, we've rapped so many times about your story of mental health, and it makes sense to me about your story and how you're, you know, looking to deploy capital and progress you're making in starting your fund. I respect that so much, and I appreciate that. I think that's what the market. I think that's what early stage needs, not more like paint by numbers type of people in and out. But I appreciate it.
Well, that kind of goes
on this.
That kind of goes back to your conversation with Charles Hudson about artisan investors and algorithmic. Without like blowing up the rest of the talk, you want to talk about that real quick or no?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny. I just talked about that with the prospective LP. I mean, like, look, if you're going to do this type of investing, there's 2 types of ways you can kind of look at it, right? Like, one is artisan, where you just like really spend time with the humans, and the other is like, hey, we invest in the top 20% of OpenAI alums that have one exit under, but less than 200 million, and we do things in the coast and these things, and it's just it's very selective, parametric searchy, and it's just like I'm just not about that. Like I think I believe in, like, I love the human story and the unexpected founder. I mean, having run the HBCU Founders Fund, like, none of these people, which was my old role, right? Like,
you did that. HBCU Founders Fund?
I know, there's like, sourcing was super weird, man. So, you know,
did you know I went to Morehouse?
I do. I know you're a Morehouse man.
How do you know? You make scoping out my bio, man. You actually read that thing?
I'm in the AUC. Like, I ran entrepreneurial design workshops for Spelman, Morehouse, and Clark.
Bro, my mind is like blowing up, right? Exploding right now. What? We gotta talk to a while later. Holy crap!
I know all about Spellhouse. I have.
Oh my God, you don't know anything about Spell. My wife went to Spellman. I'm a whole Spellhouse couple over here, bro. You don't know about no Spellhouse. Knock it off.
I didn't know that. I didn't. I knew you're a Morehouse man. I know what that means. But sourcing was super. Oh, let me get back on message and So for me, all these parametric like searchy things would miss people. And I just think like that's not what being a founder is about. That's not what startup is about. I don't know. That's not why I'm in the game. And I
Right.
have a more open way to do it. And that's what gets me all fired up. And yes, I have some of your founders, your Ivy.
Yeah, of course.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care where you come from.
Right. Well, I don't either. In fact, I'm looking for the outliers, right? I'm looking for the outsiders, the people with a chip on their shoulder. I think you said in your last episode with Mark Tobias, where you were talking about like chips on your shoulders equal chips in your pockets, right?
That was him. Yeah, that was him.
Although I did an episode of my podcast. I haven't recorded an episode of my podcast in forever. It's called Parents Making Profits. I did one episode and I asked the question, are there times when having a chip on your shoulder is actually problematic or detrimental to your startup?
Yes. The answer is
absolutely yes, right?
Too much. Like
absolutely yes. So all right, so your podcast is called Alone Together Podcast on Spotify, it's on YouTube, it's on Apple. Like, yo, go check it out. He interviews very interesting people. I'm like, look, some of these people he's talking to, if you're out there raising money, you're probably pitching those people. Don't you think you would have a better email response? You say, hey, I heard you on the podcast with Mike Mine. When you said this resonated with me because of that reason. You probably get an email response or not. What do you think?
Yeah, because we don't talk about, I mean, most of the stuff we talk about is them as people. And
well, kind of like this.
Yeah, it's like this. And if you can talk about Martin Tobias, like being kicked out if his story.
Oh my God. That story was crazy, bro.
If you want to pitch Mike McCombie and talk about like his loss of his mom, or if you want to talk about like crazy things that Ethan Austin.
I listened to that episode too. That's how that inspired him.
We're human. I mean, that's the biggest thing I tell founders. Like, I'm a person. I'm not a checkbook. I got stuff. And if you connect with me as a person, you got a much better chance.
1,000%. So, which is a perfect segue to my next question. Like, how do you effectively manage being a solo VC, a husband, and a dad of three kids?
3.
Bro, how the hell are you doing that?
I got a lot of
minds want to know. What?
A lot of help. I mean, this is solo GPs don't mean alone. Does not mean alone. Like I have my right hand is Chad Souter. He's an associate. He's my rock. He's been with me for a year and some change. He's amazing. I actually have people who want to work with me. I have a venture associate, Francesca Colombo, Raja Miswani, Sarah Beck. And if you talk about what you're doing, these people are helping me for near nothing and trying to like fit in some story and equity for them. And so I don't do this alone. And I think my LPs have been amazing as well. Like, that's why I say, what's your minimum? I was like, honestly, my minimum is good people. If you're, find a way to work. I mean, obviously you have to do the accreditation.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Wait a minute. The flip front is like, well, one, my kids are older. So, and to real talk, like if, you really young kids, it's tough. Right. I was one of my podcasts, Andy Will, I was talking, his kids are really young. I was like, man, that's a tough one. My kids are older. And what's actually really cool is I actually bring my kids into my IC kind of like I pitch my companies to my kids.
No way. The kids are in the investment community.
And like, look, they're still like 16, right? So you're not like, but like I really challenge, and they want them to challenge me on it. So that's how I keep it integrated. And then my wife is a rock star. And I have a lot of family in the New York suburban area, why I'm out here. My mother, like, it's just, it really takes a village, and I'm super lucky and blessed to have all these people.
That's so good, man. You're so fortunate. All right. So we were talking about this before we came on, and you asked phenomenal questions on your show. I'm like, well, damn, I got to step up my game, bro. Like I'm half-assing it on these shows I do. So one of the questions, so I'm going to steal some of your questions and turn them back on you. So one of the questions you ask is, tell me about your highest and lowest low, highest high and lowest low as a VC investor. Let's hear it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the highest high was when I pushed launch on the fund. And I made I posted on LinkedIn, I posted a NASCAR meme, and I don't know, well, I'm not a NASCAR person. It was just like, a guy's talking to the pit crew. He's like, and his radio, it's like, it's like, I don't know what's going on, guys, but I'm putting my foot on the floor and I'm not stopping until I see God or a checkered flag. And that's,
God or a checkered flag.
and that's how
Is that a NASCAR thing?
yeah, I mean, well, you could I was just like, we did our first close in the fund. It was most people would say the close was too small against your cover.
Yeah.
Like this fund thing won't work.
How big was your first close?
2 million.
Not the fund. Your first close was 2 million.
Mhm.
Oh, that's good.
And I had a bigger cover, at the time. And it was just like,
Bro.
I just said like, look, I don't care. And I just put it out there. I am not stopping until I see God or checkered flag.
Bro.
And people just around it. And it just felt so good.
Yeah. I love it.
To do it. I mean, I think the lowest low was probably, let's see. So just a timeline. It was like, I left my last fund in May and then I closed in January of this year. I would say the bottom was like, it's probably around this time last year in September. Like nothing really closed yet. It was kind of hard. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm not drawing a paycheck. Like things are super stressful. Like kids are bad. I was just like,
you sound like a founder, bro.
Well,
you are kind of a founder, right? You are a founder.
I remember just looking at my wife and I was just like, every day I do battle. And every day I just feel like I have to justify my existence. And I had to go through and talk about mental health stuff. Like one of the exercises I went through when I went to bed was actually visualizing taking pieces of armor off so I could actually sleep. I was not sleeping. And
wow.
And then as we got closer and I saw that like people said yes and like stuff like, and I had a line that we were going to do a real close and like, I felt better, but I would say that the bottom of that J curve, I was about this time last year and it was, I couldn't sleep. So I just, that I can't have a specific day, but I remember just telling her like, I just have to take off my armor. I'm so tired.
So before we came on, I was telling you about the book and I asked you if you would be game to do a chapter in the book because so the book we have contributors. So I'm actually writing a book without actually writing a book, which is kind of awesome. So we have investors and founders contributing compelling mental health stories because as you saw when I teased up that cover, we're trying to shatter the silence around mental health and founder mental health and tech startups. And so I love that you said you began to do that. Like I'll send that stuff over to you. Would love to have you involved in that project. I think your voice is super important, man. So in the next 2 minutes, just tell me how do you want your fund to be remembered? That's your question too, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I want to be remembered as rewriting how pre-seed. I want this to be like a precursor or a first round. And what I mean by that is like, look, here's the things I believe. You have to know the person. You have to spend time with people, break bread, talk about understanding, this fund will espouse the principle of this. Like, if you want to be a good partner, go first. So we will do all the things we're not going to say we're value add. We're going to just do it. And then I want to prove that that's thing one. Thing two, I want to prove that you can have an impact. This real double bottom line aspect of which is such a like the way we phrase it is in our 30 days, we kick the crap out of impact founders. Like we talk about like, I want killers for good. Like, and I want that. I want to go first for killers for good. And we're going to put time in up front and we're not fast checks. Not doing them. Don't care. Right. I just want to rewrite this kind of like slow artisan, deep relationship.
Man, that's so contrary to the ethos these days. The zeitgeist rather, the times, man. It's just everything's fast.
No, not at all.
I said no.
I mean, some people do that. That's just not how. That's not why I'm in the game. And I know people who do fast checks, and a couple of them are LPs in my fund. And I understand what they do.
Did they give you a fast check?
Yeah, actually, it wasn't relatively fast.
I'm joking. I just want to make sure they eat their own dog food, right? Yeah, okay. So look, we're at time, man. We could go on forever, but I want to respect your time. Like, people, is it okay, for people to email you? Is that okay to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, like here's what I would tell you. The best way I'm Michael W. Ma on all the platforms. I will say LinkedIn is where I live.
Mhm.
You if you're submitting a company, and I mean this, everyone warm and cold goes through my intake, sidecut.vc/pitch us. We read them, like we do them. I am available also. I mean,
Can I
that's
flash your email or not, bro?
it's
No.
Mike at sidecut.vc, but it
There you
is,
go.
I will say, go for it. Go for it. But I would say most of the stuff is flow, and I end up
Yeah,
just putting back into like everyone
right. Yeah.
goes.
So let's go to sidecut.vc and you have a place there they can submit their deal. Everybody,
Yep,
you look at all of them,
trust me.
sounds like.
And we ask two weird questions. We ask, who's the best coach or teacher you ever had? And describe in your own words how your startup is vanquishing evil in the world. And we read them.
I love that. And you can't really BS your way around that second answer, especially.
No, it's really, it's actually sometimes really cool, and sometimes it's kind of awkward when you watch people, because we're impact investors.
You said watch, so they're doing a video, they're answering the question on
You
video.
just, you read it. It's like,
Okay, like wait,
this way by doing this, and it's sort of related to that.
Like, yeah, nah, never mind. Next. All right, man, we're out of time. Stand by when I run this outro. Mike, I really appreciate you, buddy. You're amazing, and I'm so glad people got a chance to spend some time with you. So Jeffrey, who's a phenomenal human, insightful session. I'll tell you about Jeffrey when we get behind stage here. But thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Later.